Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today I want to show you what I'm doing with those applique blocks from the Christmas basket quilt project. So I'm getting ready to make a table runner with the applique blocks from the Christmas basket project. So I have my 4 blocks here, and they're embroidered and all ready to go into a table runner. And I decided that I wanted to put sashing between each block, and I chose a 1.5 inch wide sashing. So I cut these strips 2.5 inches wide by 11.5 inches long. Now the blocks are 11.5 inches, and they're all the same size, so I chose not to cut them down to 10.5 since they're the same size and they don't have to go into a setting with 10.5 inch blocks. I'm just going to leave them the way they are. So I've got my sashing, and then I cut 3 strips that are 2 inches wide for an outer border. And I'm going to take a look at the table runner when I get these all sewn on and see if I need to add an extra border or not. So a lot of table runners, well, the ones that I usually make for my dining room table. So I have it's a fairly small table, so I don't want my table runner to run underneath the plates that are on the ends of the table, so that gives me 48 inches of space from like the top of one plate to the top of the other across the table. So I like to keep them within 48 inches or smaller for the length, and then the width can be wider because the table's wider than that. So I think my table is like 60 by 48. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm not going to be too worried about the placement because, you know, the blocks are all different. But I think I'm going to maybe do them like this. We'll do this. There's a lot of blue in these, so I can't alternate a whole lot of the colors. So anyway, this is the way I'm going to do it, and I'm going to start by adding a sashing to one side of this block, and then I'll sew this block to the next block and add sashing, and then sew it to the next block, and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and pin, and I'm going to go ahead and pin at the beginning and the end, and then do some pinning in the middle. I don't expect this to stretch much since it's on the straight of grain, but it just kind of keeps things from shifting while I'm sewing. And 3 pins may do it. So we're going to do this, and I'll adjust the camera and get started sewing. Okay, I have my 1/4 inch foot on, and I got a 50 weight thread, and I'm going to put my pin cushion on so I don't accidentally stab myself in the wrist with a pin, and I'm just going to sew these together. All right, so that part is done. So I have there we go. So I have sashing between each of the blocks. Okay, so now I'm going to press, and then I'm going to start adding the border. So now my table runner is 48.5 inches long, so I need strips that are that long, and so that means I'm going to need to piece them because I only had a yard of fabric, there isn't any way to get 48.5 inches out of there. So I'm going to do a mitered join, and so I'm going to just put them perpendicular, and then I'm going to follow my tape. And I'm going to sew 3 pieces together and see what that gives me. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this off at the seam here. Okay. And then go down to this end, and then sew this miter here. Find my threads, here we go. Okay, and then I need to trim this off. Okay, so now I'm going to press these seams open, measure out the 48.5 inches. And put a mark there, and then I'm going to pin it onto one side of the table runner. Okay, here is the completed table runner. I don't have it quilted at this point. This is just all the piecing done on it, and I'm liking this, so I think I'm just going to leave this the way it is. I'm not going to add another border on it. I will bind it with the green poinsettia fabric, and I think that will pull in enough green to kind of balance things out. So this is what my table runner looks like with the 4 applique blocks from the Christmas basket quilt. So you know, you can do this with any blocks that you own, whether they're from leftover from this project or any other project. Put them together with sashing between and put a border around them, and you have a table runner. You can also make those into pot holders, or you could put them 2 by 2 and have a square table topper. There's lots of things you can do. Put them on the front of a tote bag. There's probably all kinds of different things you could do that I can't think of at the moment. So anyway, use your imagination, and I'm sure you'll come up with something that you can do with some of your extra blocks. Well, that is it for the table runner that I made from those applique blocks. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this video with your friends. And in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.